on our Twitter, obviously they posted out last week that you couldn't talk about it on last week's episode that you were playing a game.
I couldn't.
Um, you know, but
Fuck
you've
secrecy.
yeah. So people who might not know why, in the industry, people get access to games early for review or preview and things like that. But you sign something called an NDA, non-disclosure agreement, and there's an embargo date, which means you cannot talk about it or write about it until that date hits. Unfortunately,
Yep.
when we recorded last week, we were still within the embargo date, so Alex couldn't talk about it. But Alex, last week, well, for the last what 9-10 days, you've had Hitman, and that's
Yes,
Hitman 3.
I have.
And we've had loads of people who wrote in on Twitter and pretty much guessed what it was because it was the big game coming out and we spoke about it and they were asking loads of questions and stuff like that. But yeah, just give us
Yeah.
a bit of an intro. Basically, you've got quite a big Hitman background, haven't you?
Yeah, it's been alright. I've dabbled as Agent 40, whatever, not. But
Mm.
yeah, it's what can I say? I mean, long and short of it, it's a freaking awesome game. I've played every Hitman game, and I was super excited to play about Hitman 3. I played it from start to finish, all on the glorious PlayStation 5, and ladies and gentlemen, it looks amazing. What makes a great Hitman game are the levels,
Mm.
as some of you have come to expect or know. The level design, especially on this game, is key, and I'm happy to report that the level design is by far the best on this than any
Oh,
other Hitman
excellent.
game. Yeah, and that's really good. It has all the various and interesting routes, which opens options for puzzles, which gets you really thinking. Vertical layouts for planning, and it all guarantees multiple playthroughs. Just as you like kind of get to know the lay of the land, you always want to improve your rating on each level, and you will always find a new and unique ways to get to your target.
Mm.
Dude, yeah, I mean, basically your creativity just goes nuts. It goes
Well,
absolutely nuts.
that was the key thing. That I mean, I think the last Hitman game I played was probably Blood Money, which was
Mm.
way, way back. I played Hitman Go, but that's not a Hitman game.
That's,
But yeah, Blood Money was that. But I mean, just listening to you there talk about like the
yeah,
levels and stuff like that, it sounds amazing, man.
yeah.
Got an example?
Well, yeah, sure, man. This is a hard one, as it's your imagination that can determine how much fun you have, with a level.
True.
If I had to pick one, I would say it's early in the game, and it's set in Dartmoor, England. You need to kill your target, who is on a set of a movie, but the twist is that the movie being filmed is like a murder mystery. So essentially, you're trying to commit a murder within a murder investigation.
Oh, that's like the most Hitman thing I've ever heard in my life.
Inception upon inception. I don't want to give away any spoilers, obviously, so whatsoever. And this game level is so amazing. All I will say is though, it gets you thinking, and it's so well set up. But yeah, definitely, man, you
Nice,
guys need to
nice.
look
So
up.
what's it about? Like, it's a hit. I mean, obviously it's about killing and stuff like that, but I mean,
It is,
what is it
yeah,
about?
yes.
Without
Okay,
spoilers, obviously.
without spoilers, of course. Okay, for anyone that's played a Hitman game before, they will agree with me when I say that the actual story arc for each game is its weakest element.
Mm.
Usually they're set just separate stories based on each mission. But in Hitman 2, you and your handler Diane learn that you're being manipulated by a particular client. This client has put you in the bad books of a huge, shadowy Illuminati-like group. And that's where Hitman 3's story begins. Sorry, listeners, again, no spoilers. But what I will say, by putting more emphasis on the overarching story, each level feels like there is more writing on it. There's more context, substance, and meaning. It just immerses you in each
Thank
level more
God.
and more. It's really good.
Thank God. Because like I think that was the thing that like detached me from Hitman games like on PS4 and like the ones that came out on PS4, like the episodic one, because it just feel like why am I doing it? It just felt like a mini game,
Just
like a mission.
repetitive.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
didn't feel like I was doing it for a bigger cause or a bigger
yeah,
reason. So to hear you say that, I'm just like, yes, you're answering what I want to hear, man. That
yeah.
that's cool. But I mean,
Yeah,
obviously,
yeah,
you said you played it on PS5. You mentioned it at the top of your
yeah,
thingy about the graphics and that. But what's the tech of
yeah,
the
yeah.
game like, man? It's like one big
The
game for the
game,
PS5.
the game is sick. I mean, obviously, you can unleash its power on the PlayStation 5. It could unleash its power. The game, as you expect, the mechanics are just the same as the previous Hitman games, with a nice visual boost in fidelity and the frame rate. It's a cross-gen game, which is
Mm.
a shame, as you can feel that in the resolution of like 1800p, you can see that they've kind of like dulled it down just a little bit, but the frame rate is a steady 60 FPS, which is a
Nice.
It's
Nice.
nice and welcome. And the use of HDR with the lighting is beautiful, especially on the Dubai level. It's a sight to behold. I mean, you'll be taking snaps pretty much all day. But overall, it's a really impressive. It's really impressive, like tech side of things. It's looking brilliant. It's running so beautifully on a PlayStation 5. So I just can't wait to just
I'll be
dive into
turning
it
up
again.
that. I'll be turning up that HDR brightness then, mate. You
Oh
know what I
my
mean?
gosh, yeah, man, you're gonna love what it is.
But it looked impressive
Yeah,
at the reveal show. Remember when they revealed it and they showed the Dubai level, and you can see the sun rays and the
yeah,
reflections and stuff
yeah, the
like that. So,
refractions, yeah. Of all services, man. I mean, even the reflections upon reflections. I mean, this is only like the first wave of games as well for this generation, so
mm.
it's gonna be really exciting.
so with that being said, then of
Yep,
everything in the Hitman 3 package,
yep, yep.
what's your favorite thing about Hitman 3?
All right, without a doubt, um, the importance of stealth gameplay. I'm a man,
Yes,
honestly.
yes, I'm happy you said that.
Well, I'm a man from like Metal Gear Solid. Obviously, I've plucked Metal Gear Solid 3 on the DS on maximum hard settings, so I love stealth. But it's a nice switch from the action-focused games to make it even better. You get Hitman 1, 2, and with 3. You can import levels
Hmm.
from previous games into 3, which just adds just more to the overall package. On top of that, you have the PlayStation virtual reality support for all 3 games, which is a great package. I mean, that's just a great thank you, and to be actually able to feel like you're Agent 47 is just a dream come true for any psychopathic potential killer. But yeah, it makes it a lot more challenging, and to be honest, you just got to get your hands on it. It's a really good game. It's really good. They've really done well with this, and it's a shame that this is going to be the last in the franchise. They're wrapping you up, aren't they? Well, for the time being, we never know what's going to happen in the future.
Well, dude, like they've announced that it's the biggest digital sales for a Hitman launch ever. Which
Wow.
you would expect because retail shut, but you get the gist, that it's obviously sold
Yeah.
really, really well.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Definitely.
the review scores for everybody was just like 9, 9, 9, 9,
Yeah.
8, 8. I think the
That's
lowest I
that's
saw
well
was a
deserved.
7. I think that's the
Yeah.
lowest I've seen. But so best Hitman game for you?
Without a doubt, without a doubt, and like I mentioned before, man, they've actually got a decent story now, so it doesn't just feel repetitive. You're actually playing for something, and the way it ties in all 3 games as well is it's brilliant. You know what I mean? I just hope that designers and developers just continue doing this, just in developing the story, so it's
Well,
just more
well,
engulfing.
they're making James Bond, aren't they? They've got the James Bond
And that
license.
is the next thing that they make. Yeah, so from Hitman 3 to James Bond. And
Wow.
if the Hitman franchise is anything to go by, James Bond, I mean, they're going to be able to take it to new heights. I
Dude,
mean, the first,
you
which
played
one?
it. Picture that Dubai level, but
I kind of got a couple of flashbacks. You know what I mean? I think they were putting a couple of hints in there.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, basically, if they can incorporate some of the skills that they've learned from the Hitman franchise into Bond, I mean, we could be looking at another smash, which has never really been seen since the likes of Rare, GoldenEye back in the day. I mean, I
Nice.
know EA kind of had their hands on it for a short while, and the games were all right, but nothing really beats GoldenEye. So,
Hmm.
but IOI, come on, we're looking forward to
Amazing.
it.
And
Anyway,
listeners,
guys.
we will be getting, we are getting access to games early, same time as the media and stuff like that. So we will be able to preview and review games on the podcast for you guys and on Twitter. We will be doing that, obviously with embargo dates, so don't expect any special treatment or getting it early or anything like that. But we'll do more fleshed out reviews on the Patreon side of things as
Yep.
well, which we'll get into in the future. But yeah, latest PS5 will have access to games as well, so we'll be able to talk to you about them early as well and give you impressions and mainly tech impressions as well, because I think that's what everybody wants to hear when you've got a new console.
Yeah.
What is it
Yeah.
performing like on a
Yeah.
PlayStation
What can we do?
5? But Al, I'm going to take you back.